Josh Gates is on a thrilling quest to uncover the mystery of John Dillinger, a legendary American robber during the Great Depression. Born on June 22, 1903, in Indianapolis, Indiana, Dillinger was known for his daring heists and captivating appearance, earning him the nickname Public Enemy Number 1. His gang, which included famous individuals like Babyface Nelson and Homer Van Mitra, was responsible for numerous high-profile bank robberies throughout the Midwest. However, Dillinger's criminal acts caught up with him, and he was caught in Tucson, Arizona in January 1934, but escaped using a fake pistol crafted from wood. After escaping, Dillinger committed a series of bank robberies, escaping detection for several months. On July 22, 1934, Dillinger was shot by federal authorities outside the Biograph Theater in Chicago. His death secured his position as one of the most renowned criminals of the 20th century. In addition to his illegal activities, Dillinger possessed a charming personality that attracted everyone around him. His charm and humor were exploited to avoid arrest and earn popular support. Josh senses a huge secret hidden on the John Dillinger family's land, which is currently owned by his nephew Mike Thompson and great-nephew Travis. Family members have always passed down information about buried wealth, leading to a quest to find the hidden treasure. During the hunt, they discover a mason jar containing unusual artifacts, including a 1934 shell road map. The map suggests an ancient history and link to Dillinger's criminal operations, with a blue line tracing a path from Great Falls, Montana, up into Canada, via Winnipeg, south through Iowa, Kansas City, and eventually Wichita. The team questions the relevance of the noted routes and dates, wondering if it was a planned path for Dillinger and his group to target other banks, or pointers to secret stores of money or jewels along the way. The discovery of the shell maps confirms the family history of buried money on the farm, suggesting that there may be further hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. Stewart and his team searched the area for a mysterious jar, which they discovered at the depths of a ravine. They found a mason jar, another jar, and 2 metal items, all from the Dillinger era. The jars had been buried for at least 87 years, since the time of John Dillinger's illegal operations. The second jar was smaller than the first, but it was fully intact with the lid securely fastened. Inside, they found a small amount of trash and 2 metal items. The extraordinary preservation of the jars reflected their artistry and the quality of the materials used. Behind the first 3 jars, the crew discovered a shattered piece of glass and evidence that something was hidden inside a cloth. Further investigation revealed a metal item that initially appeared to be a coin, but was later discovered to be a shotgun round manufactured from 1896 to 1938, falling precisely within the Dillinger period. This gave a highly personal and heartbreaking aspect to the finding, humanizing Dillinger, and reminding the squad that he was more than a criminal genius. He was also a young guy who had spent time on the Dillinger farm. The discovery of these artifacts provided a detailed picture of life on the Dillinger farm in the early 20th century. It was a moment of adversity and struggle, but also of optimism and opportunity. Each item discovered contributed to the story, revealing more about Dillinger's life and the mysteries buried on the estate. Josh approached the 2 family members with a lingering question. Did they consider John Dillinger as a Robin Hood figure? Someone who, despite his illegal actions, was known for stealing from the wealthy and giving to the poor? The family members considered that Dillinger had been shown in various ways throughout the years, with some seeing him as a criminal and others more sympathetic. The family members also discussed the emotional toll Dillinger's misdeeds had on his family, showing newsreel video of his father visiting him after his visit to the farm. The video's portrayal of the family's agony and sadness as a result of Dillinger's crimes showed that despite his illegal activities, Dillinger's family loved and cared for him. Understanding Dillinger's human side deepened the plot and highlighted the impact of his actions on people around him. After visiting the Dillinger family, Josh and his team discovered a sealed coffin thousands of years old, likely intended for a youngster, possibly a baby. This discovery shed light on the burial customs of the ancient culture that occupied the area. The coffin's placement against the exterior of a wealthy Old Kingdom burial hole indicated that it was added after the Old Kingdom's demise. It seemed likely that the kid's family, unable to build their own tomb, decided to bury their child on the edge of another's tomb. As the desert winds picked up, The workers decided to relocate their activity to a nearby tent to preserve the delicate artifacts. However, Josh and the rest of the squad chose to remain outside, anxious to continue their quest for new riches. They discovered a piece of gold that looked like part of a necklace, which indicated the riches and rank of the child's family, as gold was a rare metal reserved for the privileged in ancient cultures. Continuing their search, they discovered an earthen vase, which they placed in the tent for safety. Josh suggested that this vase was probably intended to accompany the child's coffin into the afterlife, as ancient tribes often buried the deceased with objects that would be beneficial in the afterlife, such as food, clothes, and personal possessions. To their astonishment, they discovered another basket, which appeared to be a two-piece vessel. This deepened the mystery and complexity of the burial site, suggesting that the child's burial was part of a wider and more careful funeral practice. After examining the casket, the team put on masks to avoid breathing potentially hazardous old spores or dust. They slowly opened the lid to show the contents inside, finding one earring inside the casket that they assumed was ivory. This led them to believe that the casket belonged to a female. Despite the deteriorating condition of the coffin, the researchers uncovered beads from a necklace composed of earthenware and quartz, which had been glazed to a shining gloss. They carefully gathered the loose beads, understanding that they would need to be preserved and rebuilt in the future to return the necklace to its former splendor. The discovery of the necklace added to the find's mystery and beauty, providing insight into the lives and culture of the ancient society that had so carefully and reverently buried its children. The story of El Dorado, a legendary city in South America, has fascinated explorers and historians for generations. The mythology of El Dorado is both captivating and hazardous, with many Spanish conquistadors exploring the depths of South America in search of this legendary city composed of gold. However, the truth of El Dorado is more complicated than that. While there is evidence of ancient civilizations in the region with gold and other expensive goods, the concept of a single, rich city constructed entirely of gold is most likely a fantasy. Instead, El Dorado is thought to have been a symbolic location, expressing the wealth and power of many indigenous nations in South America. Recent archaeological findings have shed additional light on the El Dorado tale, highlighting the complexities of the civilizations that previously existed in this region. One such finding is the quest for a long-forgotten cave that is said to house Colombia's most valuable gold. This enigmatic cave is claimed to have been the location where indigenous peoples left offerings of gold, pottery, and other costly artifacts as part of their religious ceremonies. Another intriguing find is the uncovering of graves belonging to a great ancient civilization near Colombia's enigmatic Stonehenge, known as El Infiernito, or Little Hell, which is supposed to have served as an important ritual center for the ancient Muisca people. Josh Gates starts his dangerous mission to discover the truth about El Dorado by trekking 50 miles from Bogotá into the Andes foothills to Sesquile, a holy site for the Muisca people. Recognizing the value of local knowledge and experience, Josh asked for the assistance of an old friend, Ashley Cowie, who has spent years cultivating ties with local tribal elders. The Muisca civilization was divided into chiefdoms, each headed by a cacique, chief, who ruled over a specified region. They practiced agriculture on terraced slopes, growing maize, potatoes, beans, and squash. As Josh and Ashley go into the jungle, they are overwhelmed with surprise and amazement. The deep jungle conceals a secret world of ancient structures and artifacts, unaffected by contemporary society. The remains are a tribute to the creativity and workmanship of the region's ancient inhabitants, and they contain the key to revealing El Dorado's mysteries. When Josh and Ashley arrive in the Muisca town of Sesquile, the inhabitants embrace them warmly and are ready to share their knowledge and customs. The community, noted for its strong connection to the land and its past, offers important insights into Muisca culture and beliefs. As Josh and Ashley explore the ruins, they are astonished by the monument's size and complexity. Each find gets them closer to solving the secrets of El Dorado and comprehending the Muisca civilization's heritage. However, the path is not without hurdles. Josh and Ashley's stamina and willpower are put to the test as they navigate the dense jungle environment and unexpected weather. But their ambition to learn the truth motivates them ahead, taking them further into the heart of the jungle and closer to the mysteries lying under the surface. The Muisca people, an indigenous group in Colombia, believe in Chiminigagua, a creator who created both the sun and moon. Gold was considered a valuable material in their society, representing the sun's life-giving energy. The Museum of Gold in Bogotá showcases an extraordinary collection of over 55,000 gold pieces, which represents only around 5% of the entire gold gifts made by the Muisca people to their gods. The Muisca were famous for their complex gold work, created using a method called lost wax casting to produce elaborate designs and figures. Josh and his friends set out to explore Colombia's most holy area, the Temple of the Sun. They encounter Carlos Candle, the community's leader, who guides them through the details of Muisca society. The rituals involved in this ritual include tobacco, rape, cleaning offerings, cotton balls, and chicha, a holy and mildly intoxicated fermented maize drink. The Muisca use rituals to establish their cultural identity while maintaining a spiritual connection with their ancestors and the natural environment around them. Josh and Ashley embark on a trek from the Temple of the Sun to the Muisca people's ceremonial center at Lake Guatavita, a place rich in El Dorado legend. According to Candile and Ashley Cowie, the myth of El Dorado originated from a ritual conducted at this lake, making it an important place for understanding Muisca culture and history. The distinctive golden raft on exhibit at the Museum of Bogotá is a symbolic portrayal of a real raft used in ceremonies on Lake Guatavita. During the coronation ceremony, the Muisca king, known as the Zipa, stood on the raft surrounded by attendants. This ritual celebrated the king's installation and was an important event in Muisca society, representing the ruler's spiritual and political authority. Lake Guatavita possessed great spiritual importance for the Muisca people. Thousands would flock to see the ascent of their gold-covered emperor, known as the Zipa, who would dive into the lake, symbolizing his transformation into El Hombre Dorado, the Golden Man. The El Dorado myth demonstrates the continuing importance of myth and narrative in human civilization. The appeal of the unknown, combined with the promise of limitless wealth, ignited centuries of explorers' imaginations, pushing them into undiscovered territory in pursuit of this mythical city of gold. The narrative of El Dorado continues to fascinate people worldwide, demonstrating the everlasting draw of adventure and the pursuit of wealth. The stories of El Dorado and the intriguing story of the Muisca people remind us of the power of myth and the never-ending hunt for wealth. As Josh Gates wraps up his journey through the strange world of John Dillinger's stolen money, the attraction of hidden treasures and the thrill of adventure continue to fascinate our imaginations.
Josh Gates is a popular American television host and adventurer who has become a fan favorite of people all over the world. While he hunts down answers to mysterious, unanswered questions and uncovers ancient artifacts all over the world, one question keeps appearing. How much money does Josh Gates have? Josh Gates is always surrounded by wealth, riches, and relics. But how much of those treasures does he get to keep at the end of the day? Follow along to learn about the various income sources and the net worth of Expedition Unknown's one and only host, Josh Gates. Fans know Josh Gates as their guide and friend.
I'm amazed to see all of you. I mean, last time I saw you was nearly 100 miles ago.
That's right, back in Johnson Ranch. We're 93 miles into the 100-mile trek now.
As he leads viewers on an incredible adventure, searching for long-hidden truths and treasures. However, he is much more than that, and had a long journey to get to where he is now, as one of Discovery's most trusted hosts and producers. Josh Gates was born in Massachusetts in 1977, making him 47 years old. His ex-wife, Hallie, is a therapist with her own therapy company, and they have 2 children together. His professional career in entertainment truly began in year 2007 until 2012, when he hosted the television series The Monster Hunter. Alongside hosting, he was also the co-executive producer for The Monster House. In a stroke of good luck, it would be working on this show that he would meet his wife, Hallie. In 2011, Josh would dip into the world of publishing with the book Destination Truth: Memoirs of a Monster Hunter. His love for this show was very apparent, as he juggled this project alongside others. At this time, he was also hosting the television series Ghost Hunters until 2013. In addition to that show, he hosted a brief spin-off called Ghost Hunters International from 2007 to 2008. Josh would become the executive producer of the television series, Stranded, in 2013. In 2015, he would become the host of one of his most popular projects ever, Expedition Unknown. However, it has become public knowledge that he has another series coming down the pipeline. Josh Gates is set to host a new TV show, Tales from the Explorers Club, available on Discovery and Discovery Plus on the app. It may seem there is no more room for more of his hosting, but that would be wrong, because for the past 5 years, Josh has headed and co-executive produced the hit sci-fi channel series Destination Truth. In this show, Gates and his incredible team set out to investigate ancient legends each week. If all of that was not impressive enough, he is also the host of his own late-night show, Josh Gates Tonight.
Welcome to Josh Gates Tonight. Well, we have got a fantastic show for you this evening with some of my...
This show has been a runaway hit and features interviews with the latest stars in entertainment. To describe the content of the show, some have called it part Raiders of the Lost Ark and part celebrity chat show, where he and his guests have some cocktails and a good time chatting. This show has been on air since 2020 and already has 5 seasons under its belt. With 58 episodes and a modest salary of $15,000 per episode, it could be estimated that he has made around $870,000 for his time on the show. All of these television series, as well as his producer credits on many, are likely his main source of income. When it comes to being paid per episode, the amounts can vary wildly, but many sites believe he could be making around $15,000 per episode of Expedition Unknown. While this may sound high, it would be well earned given Josh Gates' high level of experience in hosting this kind of television series. Expedition Unknown is impressively long with over 213 episodes and counting. If one were to calculate the amount of money earned from 213 episodes at $15,000 each, it would amount to a small fortune of $3.2 million. Josh Gates wrote his book over 10 years ago, but it is still highly rated and being sold out of popular book sites like Barnes & Noble for $17. On Goodreads, we can see that over 2,000 people have read and rated this book. Amazon also shows the rating of the book and various reviews from customers at over 1,000 excellent reviews. If one were to add up just these couple of thousand people, it would add up to $60,000 worth of confirmed purchases. We cannot know how much he truly made from his book, but the thousands of excellent reviews say it was likely a nice check. This man is extremely booked and busy. In addition to all his hosting jobs that require him to travel around the world, Josh Gates also does live shows. He and his team offer shows and meet and greets in connection to the television series he hosts, all revolving around his persona as a daring adventurer.
Okay, where's the lighthouse? Oh, come on!
The live shows are called Josh Gates Live, an evening of legends, mysteries, and tales of adventure. He is having multiple shows all across the country, in theaters with thousands of seats. Tickets are selling on his website at $40 to $60 each. All of the meet and greet tickets have sold out in each location already, even for shows that are a month away. The next show will take place in a theater with 1,700 seats. If one were to estimate the amount of money made, a conservative guess would be $68,000 on the low end and $100,000 on the higher end. With 13 shows still left, he is set to make well over $1 million on this tour, discounting any money made from VIP tickets and merchandise. On top of all of that, Josh Gates has also made sure to secure another stream of income. He did this with the website Cameo. According to their website, Cameo is where you connect with your favorite stars. If one were to go to the site and look under TV hosts, Josh Gates would be among the most popular, if not the most popular host on the site. His 4.9 rating goes to show how dedicated to quality he is, given his fans have all been satisfied by their personal messages. He allows people to choose what kind of tone and message they would like to receive, even including a roast option for the adventurous and humorous. Cameo allows access to thousands of celebrities and requests for a personalized video message for any occasion. And the incredible amount of traffic Josh Gates has seen is unheard of.
I want to understand how the Ark comes from Jerusalem, from the Temple of Solomon. How does it get to Ethiopia?
He tries to keep his prices low at $150 each. This means that 1,358 past customers have purchased a personalized video and have left him 5-star reviews once they've received them. His bio reads, Adventurer, Explorer, TV Guy, host of the hit series Expedition Unknown, Josh Gates Tonight, and Destination Truth, cameos recorded from around the world. It is a quick and accurate description of who he is and what he does. There is no mistaking him for any other star. If we were to calculate the money he would make from this, we need to take into account other factors. A website like Cameo takes 25% of whatever the celebrity is making on its site. The reason they do this is not out of greed, but to keep their company going and maintain their place as the premier website that connects fans to their idols in a personal and safe manner, all while keeping costs very low. In total, Josh Gates would have made $203,000. If one were to subtract 25% of these earnings, it would equal to $152,775. This is an astonishing amount, equal to some people's entire salary. Many sites have tried to estimate Josh Gates' net worth, factoring in that he lives in Los Angeles and likely owns his own home there. His income must be in the hundreds of thousands a year, if not millions a year. Many websites have tried to guess his net worth and often decide to give Josh Gates a net worth of around $3 million. However, he is a highly successful television host and a darling at Discovery. The truth is that he has more investments and assets not available to the public, so he likely has a net worth of over $5 million. Josh Gates is one of the best television hosts in the industry today. He is by far one of the most recognizable stars to come from the Discovery Network, and his trajectory has been amazing to follow. On this journey, all of us are welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Let's say around 500 BC, what would be the most successful culture in Italy? It would be the Etruscans, definitely not the Romans.
We hope all your questions have been answered. If you want more content like this, taking deep dives into your favorite stars and their luxurious lifestyles, make sure to like and subscribe. If you know of another source of income we missed for Josh Gates, please leave a comment down below. Let us know your favorite part and who you'd like a video on next. Have a great day and see you soon.
Alcatraz Island, once known for housing America's most dangerous criminals, is now a mystery and intrigue. The notorious institution, located on the remote Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, California, served as a high-security federal prison from 1934 until its closure in 1963. Josh, an experienced FBI agent, embarks on a mission to uncover the mysterious past of Alcatraz, particularly the infamous prison break of 1962. Alcatraz gained notoriety for its harsh conditions, extreme isolation, and the widespread belief that it was impossible to escape due to its isolated location and the dangerous currents encircling the island. However, there were instances of prisoners attempting to break free, with the most renowned incident unfolding in 1962. 3 inmates, Frank Morris, brothers John, and Clarence Anglin, devised a plan to escape capture by creating rudimentary rafts and crafting lifelike dummy heads to deceive guards during routine bed checks. Despite their meticulous planning, the ultimate fate of these escapees remains wrapped in mystery, with speculation suggesting they met their demise by drowning in the frigid waters of the bay. The Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary stood tall and scary on Alcatraz Island, about 1.25 miles from the busy shores of San Francisco. It was like a fortress in the rough seas of the bay. At temperatures hovering around a bone-chilling 53 degrees Fahrenheit, the icy currents would make it nearly impossible for even the most dangerous inmate to get through the prison's thick walls. The prison's management and guards worked hard to create an air of invincibility around Alcatraz by spreading a web of myths and tales that were meant to stop anyone from thinking about escaping. Inside the grim prison walls, stories of quick and cruel punishments for would-be escapees spread, making people deeply afraid of the dangerous waters and the never-ending pursuit of justice that awaited anyone who tried to defy the prison's iron grip. To keep people from trying to escape, the people in charge of Alcatraz used a web of scary myths and tales to make people deeply afraid of the dangers that awaited anyone who tried to escape. Within the prison walls, scary stories about sharks lurking in the icy waters around the island, ready to kill anyone foolish enough to try the dangerous swim to freedom, were told over and over again. Inmates were told that there were always dangerous animals in the water, and that the jail guards were expert shooters who were told to kill any prisoner they saw trying to escape the island fortress. The strict security at Alcatraz made it the perfect place for some of America's most known criminals to live. People who wanted to escape were scared just thinking about Alcatraz because they thought the island fortress could not be broken into. But the harsh facts of life in prison on the Rock didn't change the prisoners' strong desire for freedom. Over the years, brave prisoners came up with a lot of crazy escape plans. And over the years, every attempt failed, and the brave people involved were either caught or killed. Still, one escape stands out as an example of how creative and strong people can be. Alan West, Frank Morris, John and Clarence Anglin and their siblings were 4 prisoners who attempted to escape from Alcatraz, a notorious prison. Before being sent to Alcatraz, these inmates had tried many times to escape from other jails, and West was the first to think of escaping. West found a hole in the ventilation duct that led to the outside of the house, reinforced with steel rods that could easily be cut or broken. He informed Frank Morris, another prisoner whose cell was next to the air hole, about the possibility and jumped at the chance to make a detailed escape plan. Morrison records show that Morris had an IQ of 133, which showed his intelligence and strategic acumen. He led the way in starting the escape plan by getting John and Clarence Anglin, 2 other prisoners whose cells were easily located next to his own, to help him. They had to go through passages built to fit sanitary ducts to get to the ventilation pipe opening that West found behind their own cells. Once they were out of their cells, it was easy for them to climb these ducts until they reached the ventilation opening. There, they could cut the steel rods and get to the jail roof. The inmates took advantage of the weaker jail walls due to lack of maintenance and the corrosive effects of the sea. They began digging through the walls using secret spoons to chip away at the walls every day. This was a careful job that took months of constant commitment, and the prisoners had to stay alert at all times to ensure the guards couldn't see or hear what they were doing. To keep their secret activities going, the prisoners planned to do their work at times when the jail was likely to be noisy, like when the prisoners played music every night. Additionally, they took advantage of times when regular repair tasks were being done inside the prison to break down walls without drawing attention to themselves. The 4 prisoners set up a pattern and timed their digging projects for times when they thought the guards weren't looking. To keep their actions from being caught, they had to carefully plan their timing and synchronization. They chose one of them to be a lookout, placed in a way that would keep a close eye on the hallway and be ready to alert any coming guards, lowering the risk of being caught. Because of the strict security measures at Alcatraz, the prisoners had to plan and carry out their escape plan very carefully to work. The hard work and ability to work together showed how determined they were to escape the notorious jail. Despite the risk of sudden counts by alert guards and word of the escape plan getting around among close prisoners, none of the prisoners turned on the plotters. Some even offered to help with the project, demonstrating the close community and the importance of helping others escape the prison. Around 80 prisoners, a significant portion of Alcatraz's population at the time, were known about an escape plan while digging was happening. Despite being aware of the secret operation, none of the prisoners betrayed their fellow prisoners by telling the police about it. The prisoners who managed to escape created holes in their cell walls using cardboard planks made from items found in the jail workshop and painted to match the rest of the prison. They also placed personal items like musical instruments and clothes in front of the fake holes, making it harder for guards to see them during regular cell checks. After months of hard work, the prisoners were able to make the holes in their cell walls bigger so that their bodies could fit. Their goals went beyond just getting out of jail. They also wanted to get across the dangerous waters that surrounded the island. To deal with this problem, they came up with a plan to build a makeshift boat out of whatever they could find inside the jail. They found and collected 50 raincoats and used them to build a rubber boat and life jackets out of raincoats. To avoid being caught by the careful guards who were often watching the area, Alan West and Morris worked together to cover the bars above the cells with blankets and sheets to prevent dust from building up while they were cleaning. This led to the scandal over the security breach at Alcatraz. During 2 months, the prisoners planned their actions so that no one would suspect anything. Every day, at least one of them would go up to the hidden studio and work hard on building the rubber boat and making life jackets out of the old raincoats they had saved. They also made sure to cut the steel rods on the opening of the ventilation duct so they could get to the top when needed to. To keep things secret, the prisoners stuck to a strict routine and used coded signals and shifts as lookouts to let each other know when guards were coming. Working quickly and quietly, they used makeshift tools twisted together from things they found in jail or got in secret. To reduce the risk of being away from their cells for long periods during nighttime work sessions, the prisoners made fake heads that looked just like real ones. They carved and painted these heads in the dark, making sure they looked eerily like their real faces. Once they were done, the fake heads were put on their pillows and hidden under blankets to make it look like the prisoners were happily asleep in their beds. The guards were fooled by this clever trick when they did their regular bed checks, as they saw what looked like peaceful sleeping prisoners and didn't think anything of it. This allowed the prisoners to continue their secret activities without being interrupted. Photos of these carefully made fake heads have been kept in the jail archives, showing how creative and resourceful the prisoners were in their search for freedom. The Alcatraz jailbreak was a complex and dangerous operation that took place on June 11, 1962. 4 prisoners, including Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, worked tirelessly in their secret workshop to build a rubber boat and life jackets. They planned to escape by setting up fake heads on their beds and digging ventilation shafts to escape on the prison roof. However, only 3 of the prisoners were able to escape as planned. Alan West, Frank Morris, and the Anglin brothers. Alan faced an unexpected problem when trying to open his air shaft, which was made difficult by hardened cement. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers continued with their plan, preparing for the escape by assembling the rubber boat and life jackets and taking out the steel rods from the ventilation duct opening. Alan stayed in his cell due to a blockage in his air shaft. The plan was to have the others start the flight if one of them ran into problems. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers managed to reach the top of the jail without being seen, and they used a modified instrument to blow up their boat without anyone noticing. The prison's wake-up bell rang at 7 a.m., allowing the morning head count to begin. Alan was questioned first because he couldn't get out of his jail, but police thought he was hiding information about the escapees' plans when they reached San Francisco. Despite extensive searches, no sign of the escapees was found, suggesting they were able to cross the water in their boat. The FBI looked into the case for 15 years before handing it over to local officials. It was officially decided that the prisoners had died in the water around Alcatraz. Josh, a reporter, becomes increasingly interested in the details of the escape story, following in the steps of the dangerous prisoners who refuse to give up. When Josh walks into Frank Morris's cell, he feels a sense of amazement and doubt, trying to imagine the thought process behind the plan. He also realizes that the Anglin brothers' cells were close by, highlighting the incredible collaboration between these prisoners. Throughout the tour, Josh is amazed by the intelligence and bravery of the escapees, demonstrating the strength of the human spirit and the determination of people to fight for freedom even when the odds seem insurmountable. Josh, a tour guide, visits Alcatraz prison and finds the prisoners' psychological impact on him. He explores the prison's maze-like hallways, discovering the tunnels used to access the workshop, where they made life jackets and boats. The best part of the tour is seeing the FBI's evidence of the prisoners' brave attempt to escape. The makeshift life vests were created from items found inside the jail walls by resourceful individuals. The prisoners learned ideas from books in the jail library, especially old issues of Popular Mechanics. This realization highlights how education can change things, even when it seems impossible. Josh is amazed by the fake vent grates, which were made of cardboard, soap, and paint to hide crumbling concrete around the air duct. Their attention to detail is amazing, as they worked on it for about 6 months using only spoons and old blades. The prisoners also created their own telescope, a tool that looks like it came from an episode of MacGyver, which allowed them to check for guards and look over the jail roof without drawing attention to themselves. The prisoners also cleverly turned the motor of a vacuum cleaner into a makeshift drill, showing their creative solutions to problems. Their resolve to escape from their cells was further demonstrated by the fact that this makeshift tool helped them work faster and more quietly. Josh is amazed by the creativity and strength of the prisoners when things went wrong. At the last stop, Josh sees the fake heads used to trick guards while working in their secret workshop. He notices something wrong. There are 4 heads instead of 3, which shows that the original plan called for 4 people to leave, but 1 couldn't join the others. As Josh concludes his tour, he thinks about Alcatraz's flaws, as shown by the 3 prisoners' escape. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers showed that its security measures were not as good as they seemed. However, he feels saddened that the escapees' fate is still unknown since they haven't been seen or heard from since. He thinks that their brave escape and subsequent absence would make a great epic movie, a story of bravery, cunning, and the never-ending search for freedom.